that location perspective for a specific facility, really impacted its design or its concept or that type of thing. Augustine, I don't know if you want to pick Ho Tram or do you want to take Hoi An, but I'd like to get a sense of how that location, specifically impacted what went on in the IR, the components and that type of thing.
There is the split between governments and operators. Operators, like Las Vegas Sands, they came into Vietnam and Genting and several others. They want their resorts in the city, in an urban area. And whereas my government is interested in seeing these IRs in a remote area. The reason they say that, hey, look at Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas was built not in an urban area, but it's in a remote area in the desert. Look at Macau 20, 30 years ago. It's in the jungle in a way. So why do we have to put new IRs in the heart of any city, in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City? So we have a lot of problems convincing operators to look at government ways. Ho Cham is an interesting case. It's not too far from the sea, an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not in the jungle. It's a very nice area. And Ho Cham investment companies, they put a lot of money. Like today, they put in like $500 million already, and then they probably will put more. The problem is not, in my book, it's not site, it's not area. It's more or less, whether or not you allow locals to play, whether or not you have tourists coming in. If in the case of Genting example, Genting was on a mountain, right? And there are a lot of people there. And there are a lot of casinos in other areas. There's still a lot of people. So in my book, I love to see locals to play because you want, how do you call it, not only locals to play, but you want, how do you call justice for everybody, equal opportunity chance.
Ed, coming back, I don't know, I've always been fascinated how you made an IR really at a city center or in city center in a city that was really gaming centric with a lot of other competition.
Las Vegas has really developed into a unique destination. Its gaming revenues are only $6 billion. Its non-gaming revenues are significantly more than that, I think about $13 billion. So, roughly 65 to 70% of revenues in Las Vegas come out of the non-gaming component. Interestingly, over the last, 15 or 20 years, the margins on the non-gaming component have improved. And so the aggregate margin on non-gaming items within Las Vegas, on the Las Vegas Strip, is equal to the margins on the gaming activities. So, it's therefore possible to generate these large revenues out of non-gaming and still make money. So that's how Las Vegas has evolved over the years from being a market that was casino-centric and then needed to attract customers kind of like a little bit higher up on the tree. It wasn't such an easy reach. So to expand that customer base into the 40 million visitors that visit now, you had to find customers that were not necessarily gaming customers. Now this is more of a unique, I would say, U.S. experience, U.S. leisure experience. I think in Asia it's very different, and maybe Will can talk a bit more about that. So City Center was designed as the next stage, if you like, in integrated resorts within Las Vegas, focusing on iconic modern architecture and a very different type of design. It's not sort of a themed design like you see in other places. And it was to try and make Las Vegas stand out as a destination of choice for people who would come and say, yeah, this is a great hotel. This is great architecture. This is great art here. And it's not just, I've come to Las Vegas, to go to a casino. So we think that we continue to expand the customer base coming to Las Vegas because of products like City Center.
Well, you have a clean slate, in Korea. I'd love to get how you're going to think about filling it.
To the original
Trade
question
secrets are
around-
allowed.
To your original question around how does locale influence the development and design of a resort, I think the Korea example is a very good one. The two are inseparable. Locale completely dictates who your addressable market is, and once you've identified who your addressable market is, that's what you can create a resort around. In the case of Incheon, Korea, you're looking at first and foremost, because it is, as Ed mentioned, it's a foreigners-only casino. Your target market is going to be China. It's going to be Japan. It's going to be Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Asia more broadly. The core gaming customer that comes from those countries is going to be the primary customer segment. But that doesn't mean that you disregard the local customer altogether, because there's, again, as Ed mentioned, and as Augustine mentioned, the non-gaming offer is very important and very significant, and it's where this industry in various markets we would expect and hope, even like a place like Macau, would continue to evolve such that it has more and more of a slant toward non-gaming and a slant toward catering to customers who are looking for non-gaming amenities. And so in the case of Korea, again, it's an interesting design challenge, because here you actually have a bifurcated customer segment who, one, can go to the casino and enjoy every part of the integrated resort, and then a customer segment that cannot go into the casino but can enjoy every other part of the integrated resort. And that's going to be an interesting design problem for us.
Gotcha. You all, again, touched on, and Ed did it eloquently, I think, on closing that gap, between what the expectations are and, sort of really what can you deliver. I guess I'd like to get a feel from you on how you have modified maybe either the physical resort or your business plans or other activities, to respond to community needs, or how that helps shape, your decision process. When you've gone the last 3 times, go first.
Again, it's a good segue, because I'll use Korea as an example again. Korea government, the administration